All right, so this is my third week of making these videos. Sunday, I want to say it's the 24th of January, and thank you for watching my video. So this past week was the third week going into me actually sitting down and refocusing and trying to get back on a healthy path after the holidays. And it was pretty successful. This week was actually, I think, easier than some weeks because of like the whole conversation that happens in your head. And I feel like, you know, the beginning is like a great start, and then you kind of hit this bump in the road where you think miracles are supposed to happen and they should happen right away. And if they don't, you start talking yourself completely out of doing this and giving yourself every excuse in the book why this isn't working, why this doesn't work, why it's not for you, and all this stuff. And I myself, who am, you know, pretty confident in what I do and know that it does work, it still is hard to get back into the swing of things when you kind of take yourself out of that routine. And so, you know, I went over the hump where I was just like, what? I just worked out today. Like, are you serious? Like, you know, like going through the whole like expectation of what I felt like I should have been like seeing, feeling. And so that there's that little hump, you know, and then like I feel like I'm over it. So I'm going into the fourth week and, you know, still continuing on the path, because this year I want to really do it like as many weeks out of the year, not take off so many, you know, breaks. Some, you know, cheat days turn into cheat weeks and then cheat months, you know. And so I'm trying not to do that. And like the fourth week just seems so simple and easy compared to the other weeks, because you kind of like get over that mental hump and you're in a groove. And so this past week, instead of thinking about, you know, what I'm going to do to keep myself on this train, I'm starting to think about like what's the goal of like my messaging and who I want this to reach out to. And so in thinking of that, you know, one thing that I really do love is empowerment. I feel like it's super important to feel confident, super important to feel strong. And I'm not talking about strong just physically, but strong mentally. It's super important to have goals. It's super important to really just have some like a passion and a drive and like something that you're working towards. And in particular, I really love that for women. So I'm all about women's empowerment. Sorry guys, you're cool too, but I'm thinking about like my story and where I come from, and you know how I've, you know, come to this point in my journey. And I feel like women empowerment is so important. And you know, going to an all-women's college wasn't just a thing that just happened to happen to me. I felt like that was intentionally part of my journey and has made me a better person because I went there, and really has helped me see how important it is to have that empowerment as females, because we're amazing and we need to feel good about ourselves and not beat ourselves up and not be our toughest critic. All right, so we need to work on that, ladies. So my journey really is about women's empowerment, also about getting courage and strength and like really realizing who you are and being able to go through that whole like process of thinking and correlating it to like the journey of movement and fitness and health. And I feel that they run along each other side by side, the journey of the mental transition as well as the physical. And so this is much more about just getting to your goal weight. It's much more about sticking to your calories, or the calories we like to call with the 21-day fix containers, but more so about sticking to a promise you have for yourself and sticking to being consistent and putting yourself first and making sure that you're a priority in your life, and, you know, making that mental transition. I think that a lot of strength and a lot of my development mentally of being confident in myself and, you know, not taking anyone else's opinion too much to heart has definitely correlated with me physically getting strength, and, really working on those two pieces together has been amazing and huge for me. And so that's something that I really want to incorporate for women. You know, I was about to say I'm willing to work with anyone. I'm really willing to work with the people that I feel I can connect with, that we have the same, visions and goals, and we have some sort of like that thing, that spark, that connection. We want the, similar things out of life. Not saying that we want the exact same thing, but that we're kind of, connected in those areas of the way that we feel we should represent ourselves and move forward in this life and what our grand purpose is. So I'm not willing to work with everyone. I'm going to take that back. All right. And I think you can tell through my messaging what type of people I would love to work with. And so also for yourself, be particular about the people you have around you and the friends that you have in your life. You shouldn't be friends with everybody. I know that sounds mean, but it's a true story, because everyone's not your cup of tea. And if you're the type of person who's going to be friends with everyone, you're going to be a chameleon and try to change based on who's around you. And that's exhausting, and it ain't true to yourself. So number one, be true to yourself and know that not everyone's a cup of tea. Not everyone is meant to be your friend. You're not meant to work with everyone. You can respect everyone, but you're not meant to really have that deep connection with everybody. That's the way it works. You got to find your people. You got to find your tribe. You got to find your group. So that's important. And I'm still obviously trying to learn that myself, because I almost said something that I didn't really mean. It's hard to say out loud because this sounds mean, but it's not. It's actually just being honest and real. And so, another thing I'm thinking about this journey, that there is no magic pill at all. There's consistency, there's duration, and there's adoption of healthy habits. And that's the secret, if there is a secret. Consistency, duration, so continuing and sticking with something for a long period of time, and adoption of healthy habits. That is what we call the secret to with lifelong success, whether it is health and fitness related or just related to your life in general. So I want you to keep that in your back pocket and think about it throughout the week as you think of areas in your life that you want to change, that you want to adapt, that you want to give kind of like a revamp, like rework. So those are things that I'm thinking about as I'm moving into week 4. There's some other things, but I want to save them for later on. So, just remember to be true to yourself. Think about who your tribe is, who your peeps are. Remember that you got to be selective, because you're numero uno and you got to protect that. Put yourself as a priority. Sorry, I have tough time with words sometimes. My bad. Keep yourself as a priority, and also think about what it means to kind of stick to that promise to yourself, because why let yourself down? You work so hard to not let other people down. You also need to work as hard, if not harder, to make sure you're not letting yourself down. And so I have other thoughts in my head, but I think they're too soon to share. I think I'm going to have to, put some fears aside and do a live Facebook. See, I'm still struggling with my words, Sunday night. A Facebook live feed, I don't know what they call it, sometime this week, where, that's a fear number one, do something live, because, I'm going to mess up. And I know it, so that should just take off some of the pressure. But also make announcement about where I'm going in my life. And I feel that it's at the time where the appropriate people have been notified that I can share it with the world. Let me decide on what day that's going to happen, and I'll let you guys know, because it's pretty awesome and I'm excited about it. So be you, be true, love yourself. Number 1, if you need a book suggestion, You Are a Badass. I mean, you are, but it's also the title of a book by Jen Sincero. It is amazing. I think I said her name correctly. Get that book, because you are a badass, and there's some really good information in there about what you need to continue to be fucking amazing, because you're fucking amazing. Sorry for swearing, but it's true. And I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. So that is it for this Sunday. And you guys have a good night and rock out this week. All right? Love you guys. See ya.